Hey everybody, this is Ryan Murray, Public Relations Coordinator for the Office of Cultural Affairs in the City of Albany. I am here with another podcast this week, this time interviewing my boss, Alay Medina. This is fun. How often do you get to interview your boss? And not many people do, probably, I'm guessing. So we chat about all things about her background, about quarantine tips that she's got going on, records she's listening to. She helps us exist. She puts together all the schedules and make sure that we're on track to do everything that we need to do. We talk a lot about the pivot from doing live events to doing digital events, which is a big change for all of us, and her especially, to change everything on the fly. We talk about how we were in the office on a Monday and gone on a Tuesday and digital on a Wednesday. It's pretty tough. So it was a lot of fun to catch up with her and have not a work chat, just a fun chat with her, which we don't often get to do. We talk almost every day, but not in this scenario. So it was fun. It was fun to catch up with her and have a little fun for a little while. I hope you guys enjoy this. And it is a little bizarre to interview your boss. It's kind of fun. I would encourage, go out and do it. Go out and find out background about your boss. Take them out to dinner once this is over and kind of learn more about what they're up to. Get a different perspective on why they do the things that they do and the struggle. It's hard to be a boss. I said that for a long time. It's tough to be a boss, and she does a great job keeping us on afloat on the water, keeping us on the right track. Sometimes we can, like any office, we bounce off the walls, and she has to keep us in line and keep us on the right path. So we thank her for that. And she's been doing it for 3 years. It's been a lot of fun to work with her for these 3 years. And I hope you enjoy this chat. It's a lot of fun. It's Alay Medina, the boss, the director of the Office of Cultural Affairs. It's going to be a fun staff chat. Hope you like it. Hi, Alay. How are you?
I'm good, Ryan. How are you?
Good. We talk every day, but we don't talk like this for this long, and usually project related. So it's good to talk to you.
Likewise.
You're the director of the Department of Cultural, or the Office of Cultural Affairs. I can never remember our name. We've changed it so much. So how many years have you been in charge now of our department?
It'll be 3 years, June 26th.
3 years. That flew by. I got to say that.
Yes,
flew by.
Absolutely.
When you're in the event world, sometimes you go from event to event to event to event, and then the year's over and you're like, I can't believe we just did 3 years of this.
Right. Yeah, our calendar doesn't allow us any time for reflection. We have that downtime, but there's no downtime, as you know.
No, we start planning. As soon as we hit the time where it's a little quieter, we start planning for the next year. So
right.
This year is a lot different, and we're going to get into that later. But first, I wanted to kind of talk about your background, because I think you have an interesting background. You started out doing something completely different in art. You were doing glass blowing, right? Is that what you went to school for?
Yep. I went to school for glass and glass sculpture with a minor in philosophy. So where do you go from there?
I don't know. It's unique. And I just went, before this all happened, I went to a comedy show, and there was a comedian there talking about the glass blowing process.
Oh.
How you have to be in this hot place, and you can only be in there in the summer. And it was out of Massachusetts. So it was, it was, I forget where it was, Pittsfield or something like that.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's a unique profession, that's for sure.
It's very hot. It's very dangerous.
Right.
And that's the stuff that I miss.
The danger?
Yeah, kind of. You can't necessarily touch molten glass, but you have molten glass in your hand. But in between the molten glass in your hand is wet newspaper or some kind of fruit wood block. I miss the smells. I didn't take advantage of my opportunity when I was young. And then my whole life as an adult, I'm just trying to get back to that. And, it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. We do what we have to do to get back to our art. That's kind of
Right.
the
Yeah.
life we all lead,
Right.
especially in this office. We all have our
Right.
side deals and things that we do.
Right.
Some of us are music, some of us are doing other things.
Right.
Few of us make clothes.
Right.
So everybody's got a little thing on the side. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're all definitely creative,
yeah.
and I've been fortunate when I went into the professional world that I've always been in kind of creative environments. Like that's been my one. I've done many different things, but that's been
Right.
my one like consistent thread.
Right. 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 So after that, I don't know how quickly this transitioned, but after that, we met through you were heading up part of the head up of the Alt,
Right.
which was a newspaper that came out of was it Proctor's
Yeah.
and some other partners.
We, we had three partners. We had Proctor's, the Daily Gazette, and Over It.
Yeah, and I
The
first
sales
met you.
director.
I think it was a party that I met you at. There was like a party at a restaurant, like for the
Oh,
launch or
you were
something.
there? Yeah, at the
Yeah,
Black and Blue on
yeah,
West
that was it.
Avenue.
That
Oh,
was a fun party.
yeah,
Um,
swanky. It was swanky.
yes, that's right. So that's where I first met you. Little did I know, like very shortly after that
Right,
year, you'd be my boss and running things over at our place. So
right.
it was a good kind of transition. But before that, you worked at Metroland too.
Yeah, and I think 2005 to 2010, I worked at Metroland. I went to school in Rochester. I was working in an optics firm there, making not optics for like glasses, but for like telescopes and things like that. And then I moved back to the area, and then I was an interior designer at Ethan Allen. That was fun. Then I
Nice.
have other different gigs, but then I ended up going to Metroland, and it was like for the time the best possible job I could have ever had. I always say this. I think everyone in college, particularly for artists, should be forced to do a like sales job. You know,
Mhm.
fairly shy when I was young, and I think Metroland got that out of me. Like if you can't sell yourself in this world,
Yeah, it's a
you're
lot of
doomed.
sales.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun. I met Melly Rose, Melly Rose and I, who was the old director a couple of
Hmm.
years ago prior to me. She and I were thick as thieves, and it was a really good time in our lives.
Yeah, that was like Metroland's. I don't know if it was its peak or whatever, but it was
Right,
definitely cooking with gas during those
right,
years where you were there. So
right,
that kind of brought you into our music world a little bit by going over
right,
there because they covered a lot of that stuff.
right.
And
Yeah, I
then,
got to know a lot of people and kind of the ins and outs of the area, and um, it
right.
was invaluable experience, certainly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then, how quickly did that lead you to the all, or was that a few years later?
That was, like I said, 2010. And then I was the sales director for a company in Guilderland that makes Murphy beds. That was interesting too. And I would go to Las Vegas to these very sexy trade show, like furniture trade show and design shows in Las Vegas and New York, and that kind of got me in the mood to hustle a little more. And then
Mhm.
I got tapped for this alts project. Someone recommended me, and after several interviews, I got the job. And then, we started the paper from scratch. But then shortly after the paper launched, someone tapped me for this job. And I guess I got recommended several times for this job. And so I went on the interview, but I didn't even prepare, which is very unlike me. Normally I'm like on, but I was just,
Mhm.
well, I can't leave the paper. It's my baby, but it's silly for me to not have a conversation. So I went and spoke to Rachel, and I got all misty eyed and started to cry in the interview, which is horrifying because I was like, yeah, how can I turn this opportunity down? But I felt very guilty about the paper. And I think maybe like 6 months later, finally I got hired.
Yeah. Well, you're in demand, that's for sure. It's good to be in demand
Yeah, I
and
guess
have
so.
people wanting you to come work for them. I mean, that's a great position to be in. It's just hard
Right,
sometimes with the loyalty of like, I want to be here, I want to be here.
right,
But going from golf to being a director of an event that puts 100,000 people in the area or 80,000 people in the Washington Park, whatever we want to go by, is pretty hard to say no to. It's like,
right,
that is a great opportunity to go and do that. And
right.
how often are you going to get that chance, to go
Absolutely.
work on something like that, something that's over
Absolutely.
70 years old now too.
Right.
So,
At the end of the day, it came down to what was best for me and my family,
right.
you
Yeah.
know.
You know,
So,
and it was funny because we were working together on the alt side. We were buying ads
right,
through the alt side. I knew you very well now after the party and
right,
everything. And
right,
then slowly I started to see more and more and more of you. And like,
right.
I think she's gonna be. I think she's gonna be coming in. This is
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I was at Tulip Festival for the alt, but I was
Right.
already entertaining this job and I kind of already had it, but it wasn't announced yet. So I was like
Right.
all of you guys.
Yeah. I know you were
You know,
like.
I was,
It was funny because you knew it and I knew it because I had talked to somebody or something
mhm,
something had come through. You know
mhm.
how City Hall can be. Sometimes you hear all kinds of things. So
Yeah.
I'd already heard, but I knew I couldn't talk about it. So, and you
I
could,
didn't know you knew. That's interesting.
yeah. I also knew it was going to happen, or was
Mhm.
very likely to happen, and we were both kind of dancing around it, like, okay,
Right, right.
here we are
Yeah.
at Tulip Fest. You're probably going to be at this next year.
Yeah. I was impressed. Um, I know you know this. The only negative that I saw, and the first thing I did when I stepped into the position was the recycling or lack
Right,
thereof.
right.
But, just being there from kind of the outside looking in, it's impressive. And I'm continuously impressed at the staff and how few of us there are and how much we get accomplished. It's
Yeah,
boggling.
it is kind of daunting when I tell people I'll meet somebody new and I'll say, yeah, there's 6 of us.
Yeah.
Like, 6? That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
uh,
That's a testament to you guys and how hard you work. And certainly you've been there the longest and your experience is invaluable. For anybody new that comes in, all of us tell them this, like, you don't know what's going to happen until you live it.
you have to live through the event to
Yeah.
decide, figure out where things
Right.
are and live it to know how
Right.
it is. Yeah.
Right. That's our job in a nutshell.
It's hard to look at a map. And I remember the first Tulip Festival I did, and they're just giving me all this information. Like, here's this, and here's
Right.
where this is, and this is when this comes in, and this is this. And I'm like,
Right.
I know the park, I thought. I
Right.
really don't. I guess I
Right.
really don't know the park.
You don't
Uh,
know it until you drive around in a golf cart.
right. Try to max out golf cart speeds on Washington Park roads.
I'm surprised they still let me on one.
You mentioned the recycling. That has been a big thing of yours through all our events. You're trying to improve with DGS,
Yeah.
our partners on all events. They help us. We could literally not do these things without DGS's help. So
Absolutely.
we always thank them. But they also wanted to improve the recycling. So you came in and kind of work with them and some other partners through all the events, not just Tulip Fest, to try to improve the garbage, the recycling, because it is daunting sometimes with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that has improved over the last few years.
Absolutely.
And we have our partners Zero Waste that do Jazz Fest, and they're expanding their partnership with us to help with recycling and other things, reusable. What do you call it? Composting.
Composting. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
Yeah,
been a big initiative for you.
Absolutely. We have great events. And the thing that was attractive to me about this position was we have the formula, but how can we make it better? And I think in the 3 years, not to like pat myself on the back, but in the 3 years that I've been here, we've done that. Like, we've done a lot. And I say that to you guys all the time. We've done a lot and it's impressive. And we just take good events and make them even better. Every year we're reinventing and it feels good.
Yeah. It feels good when you're at an event and you see the garbage is picked up,
Right.
DGS is, helping us out, and people are having a good time, and it's nice to step back and kind of see that every once in a while, like, hey, that was good, that worked out.
Right, absolutely.
So our current world is a lot different. That's kind of why I started this thing, to check in with people. But our current world is a lot different. There's not going to be a Tula Fest in the same way this year. We're still working on projects with what's going to happen with all of the events, but most of the stuff we've done has moved online and digitalized and virtual. And you've kind of helped us head that up. So what are your thoughts on us moving digitally right now? We're only 6 weeks in. To consider that we've moved from events to digital in 6 weeks is pretty, it's daunting. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, again, daunting, yes, but also impressive. Like, these 6 weeks have been difficult for everybody, absolutely. But we've been in this weird stalemate where we have to have a plan A, B, and C. Like, okay, we are going to have the events, but they're going to be postponed. Or plan B, we aren't going to have the events. Or plan C, we are having the events, but they're reimagined. Plan D, we're going all digital. So we've had to pivot a lot, and we've had to have plans in place this whole time. And again, just like the events, it's been impressive how much we've done in how short amount of time. We got the 518 Tulip Tracker. We're doing the virtual Tulip Fest on May 9th for a couple hours. We started, at the mayor's request, a public access channel with some partners. One of my favorite things, Capital Covers, which has gotten a lot of press and a lot of movement. We did this 5 questions, which is like interviewing our volunteers and vendors. We've done a lot. What am I forgetting?
I think that's most of it. There's probably a few other things. But
this, of course, and our website. Oh, that's my daughter. Say hi, Stella.
Hi, Stella.
I'm done. I'm just impressed with you guys. And at the end of the day, no matter what, I've always said you guys are the dream team. And you keep proving that, It's
been interesting, for sure, to try to, okay, how can we, we're all supposed to stay home. How do we continue entertainment in a world where we're supposed to bring people out for entertainment? And how do we help? A lot of what we do is not for our own benefit. It's for the benefit of others.
Right.
And how do we continue that platform? And I think we've done a pretty good job of getting started, but to completely turn it on its head. We were in the office on a Monday, gone on a Tuesday.
Yep.
Having a digital platform on a Wednesday.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's been crazy. So it's been different to try to do all this stuff online, and the office is very connected. We've talked about this with Keith, and I talked to a couple other people about it, but we're an office that's very, I don't know if it's in your face or, we're always walking around talking, trying to be interactive in person. Right. And now we've moved completely, we're doing these meetings online, and we have a chat room that we have, like, it's totally different. So how's that been for you, not seeing everybody?
I miss everybody. I miss going to City Hall. I love you guys. I love everybody that we work with in City Hall and everybody that we partner with, and certainly all our partners beyond City Hall. I think the successes we've had in this short amount of time is reflective of all our partnerships and everybody that we work with, City Hall or otherwise. So that makes me feel good, that I could still reach out to people and say, hey, I'm thinking of you. How you doing? I got this idea. Let's make it happen, Yeah. We're very social, absolutely. And in this weird kind of time, that doesn't stop.
Yeah. And I think there's one thing that we haven't done, because I don't think she likes this kind of thing, but I'm going to say it anyway right here. Might get myself in trouble, but we wouldn't be allowed to do all this without the mayor and without Rachel, who's the head of our department, who are encouraging us to do this kind of stuff,
Right. Absolutely.
giving us the platform to go out and do it, which is, they deserve a lot of credit for everything that they're doing. We're a very, very small part of the city in general,
Absolutely.
but it's pretty cool that they've, supported us and let us go out and do this stuff and encourage us to do it and go try stuff that we haven't done before. So that's pretty cool. I want to give them a shout out, even though they don't like getting shout outs. I know both of them don't like it, but we got to
no, you're absolutely right.
All right, let's talk about some fun stuff now. We're all at home. We're all bored. I'm certainly very bored. I have turned to some things that I normally wouldn't do for fun, like Survivor.
Oh, yes.
Super into Survivor, watching old seasons of Survivor. So that's been my quarantine getaway. But I've been asking everybody for TV, movies, things that they're watching that we can kind of jump on board with. And we've had a lot of good suggestions. So what are some of your getaways right now?
Well, I don't know if anybody's going to want to jump on board. I've been, and in fact, prior to this starting, I was telling you guys, I've been obsessed with this show, Curse of Oak Island.
Right.
Where they're looking for this buried treasure. Been watching a lot of that. Been watching a lot of like cooking shows. My daughter and I watch Nailed It, which you also enjoy.
I love Nailed It.
Because it's so ridiculous.
It's great.
I've been watching on my own Secrets of the Dead, which is this PBS like archaeological series.
Nice. I like those things. I mean, I can get that. I can get behind. I'm watching Survivor, where there's lots of buried treasure. Fake buried treasure, but still buried treasure.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that kind of old school stuff.
Yeah. Musically, we're a big music office. Everybody has their different tastes. You certainly have a taste of old school hip hop for sure. And some other things. So what are there any records you're listening to that we should look in for?
No, certainly old school hip hop plays in this house a lot.
24 hours a day.
Yeah, well, no, there's a lot of Al Green in the house.
Well, there you go. That's good.
There's Fela Kuti, James Brown. As you know, I've been kind of emotional through these days, so I've been listening to a lot of like acoustic Tom York and radio. Kind of atmospheric stuff. I always like classical.
Are you doing the thing that some of us are doing where we listen to music during the day while we work? Because that's been, a few of us have been doing that.
No, I unfortunately listen to the news while I'm at work.
Just news.
Just news.
I've
been listening to less.
Right.
All this, but for some reason, I just listen to news when I work.
Okay. Well, all right. So Al Green, James Brown, those are some classics.
Yeah.
The old school give me some old school hip hop that you're spinning.
Well, Tribe Called Quest.
Oh yeah.
Others, that kind of stuff, that kind of vibe. Far Side. I don't know. Then we get into like EPMD and Public Enemy. Depends on the vibe of the day.
Depends on the day goes.
Yeah. Bought some wine,
There you go. It's important to have that, the deliveries. That's fun. Getting liquor delivered. Nothing has been more satisfying to me than that.
Yeah. Well, I'm picking it up. It's been my New Year's resolution to drink more for the couple years, and it hasn't been happening, but it's getting there.
Yeah. Try new things,
Yes. Drinking.
All right. Time for my favorite question. Every podcast I get it close to the end with this one, but it's the takeout. It's food. I love food. Yeah. And I love takeout. And we try to get takeout once a week, usually from a local restaurant. It's dropped off, usually hands-free drop off, which is fun to talk to the people through the window and all that. Wave to the people. We're also getting like our groceries delivered and stuff. So that's super weird. But Takeout. What takeout are you getting? What do you recommend people go and try?
I haven't taken any food out, if you can believe it. I've been
Wow.
a lot. Been getting my groceries delivered, and I feel like I need to support the local businesses. I am going to do that farm that you suggested that delivers milk and cheese.
Yes, right.
Um,
We have a milkman now, which is fun.
yeah, I love that. I'm going to do that. But what I have been doing, we've also been getting our groceries delivered, but I've been giving a very hefty tip
Right.
deliverer because, geez, I mean, they're putting themselves at risk, so I don't have to. So I at least feel good about that I'm like making somebody's day.
Are there any spots that you normally would get that you would say, this is a place you should check out? Like, this is where we normally go for like a Friday night takeout kind of a place.
Yeah, we would go to the Fountain a lot, but I hear that's closed.
Yeah, they're not open right now, but
yeah,
they're the best.
Which makes me sad. And then our Japanese restaurant is right next door, Kumaani. Delicious. We go there.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's it.
Some of the places in Albany are not open. Some of them are. So you got to kind of peruse that. But our buds at Amakosina are probably leading the charge.
Oh, yeah.
They've been talked about quite a bit on this podcast. You know, they've done a lot of work with us.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Recipes and deliveries, and they can get margaritas from them and all kinds of stuff. So
awesome.
It's always good to check those guys out. And there's a bunch of other ones too. I don't want to just continuously plug Amakosina, but we're buds with them. So
yeah.
And
I've been in Albany 3 years, and I'm still kind of, I don't know if it's because I have a 5-year-old and a very busy schedule, but I still have a lot of restaurants in the area. So I appreciate your tips.
Yes. Go out there and find new ones. That's what I would suggest. Go find new ones. Try different types of food. You make lots of different, Spanish food. We had a party at your house. What was the thing that you made?
Arepas. Those are Venezuelan.
Oh, okay. That was great.
In fact, you know who makes them? Corn.
Oh, really?
In Park. Yep. And they're a vendor of ours that usually at Tulip Fest.
Right.
They're delicious.
Yeah. So, trying new things is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just had Thai food. I love Thai food. So
me too.
I would suggest go get some Thai food and then take a day off because the heat is going to ruin your next day. But the day before, the day you eat it is great.
Yeah, TMI.
Yeah, sorry. It's, acid reflux. That's not
yes.
All right.
Sin comes out.
All right. So that's it. Thank you for keeping the train on the tracks.
Yep. Thank you.
During these hard times.
Yeah.
We're trying to have some fun out there, and you're giving us the tools to make it happen. So thank you for that. And we got more stuff to come. We got new initiatives coming out all the time. So just keep an eye out with us, and we're going to be plugging all kinds of new things like Live at 5. We didn't mention that, but Live at 5 just started last couple weeks. We've had Katie Gallagher and a band called Erie. So those are super fun. And the live aspect of it is really cool. It's something different that we're going to be doing going down the road. Hopefully all summer too.
Right.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later today.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Take care.